The United States has embarked on an unprecedented campaign of mass deportation under President Trump's administration. This aggressive strategy marks a stark departure from previous policies, signaling a new era of immigration enforcement. The administration has set ambitious goals, aiming to deport millions of undocumented immigrants. This approach has sent shockwaves through immigrant communities across the nation, instilling fear and uncertainty. The Trump administration's deportation strategy is characterized by its sheer scale and intensity. It represents a dramatic escalation in enforcement efforts, surpassing anything seen in recent history. The administration has made it clear that it intends to prioritize deportations, making it a central focus of its immigration agenda. This hardline stance has drawn both praise and condemnation, sparking heated debates about its legality, morality, and potential consequences. President Trump's deportation strategy relies heavily on an all-of-government approach, enlisting a wide range of federal agencies in its implementation. This coordinated effort extends beyond traditional immigration enforcement bodies like Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and Customs and Border Protection, CBP, and even the military have been brought into the fold. This unprecedented mobilization of government resources underscores the administration's commitment to its deportation goals. The use of military aircraft and personnel in deportation operations is particularly noteworthy. It raises concerns about the militarization of immigration enforcement and the blurring of lines between domestic law enforcement and military operations. This all-encompassing approach reflects the administration's determination to leave no stone unturned in its pursuit of mass deportations. The Trump administration's deportation strategy includes a controversial shock and awe tactic, deporting migrants to third countries in Latin America. This strategy aims to deter future migration by making the deportation process as disruptive and disorienting as possible. Migrants are often deported to countries they have no connection to, leaving them stranded and vulnerable. Countries like Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Costa Rica, and Panama have become frequent destinations for these deportations. These nations, already grappling with their own social and economic challenges, are now facing an influx of deportees. This has strained their resources and fueled instability in the region. The use of third-country deportations has drawn condemnation from human rights groups, who argue that it violates international law and exposes migrants to dangerous conditions. Section 6. Beyond the headlines, individual stories of loss. Behind the statistics and policy debates lie the deeply personal stories of those affected by the Trump administration's deportation policies. Families have been torn apart, with parents separated from their children and loved ones left behind in uncertainty. The human cost of these policies is immeasurable. Consider the story of Maria, a single mother who was deported to Honduras after living in the U.S. for over a decade. Maria left behind her 2 young children, who are U.S. citizens. She now faces the agonizing choice of either raising her children in poverty and danger in Honduras, or remaining separated from them indefinitely. 7. The economic and social costs of mass deportation. Deportations result in the loss of valuable members of the workforce, disrupt businesses, and drain local economies. They also tear at the social fabric of communities, leaving behind fractured families and a climate of fear. The deportation of undocumented workers has a significant impact on industries that rely heavily on immigrant labor, such as agriculture, construction, and hospitality. Businesses face labor shortages, increased costs, and disruptions to their operations. The loss of tax revenue from deported workers further strains state and local budgets. Countries around the world are grappling with the challenges posed by globalization, conflict, and climate change, all of which contribute to mass displacement. From the refugee crisis in Europe, to the construction of border walls in various parts of the world, nations are struggling to find humane and effective solutions to manage migration flows. The U.S.'s approach, characterized by its focus on deterrence and enforcement, has been met with mixed reactions. Section 9. The uncertain future of U.S. immigration policy. The future of U.S. immigration policy remains uncertain. The Trump administration's hardline approach has faced legal challenges and public opposition. The administration's request for billions of dollars in funding for its deportation efforts has also been met with resistance from Congress. As the U.S. grapples with these complex issues, the human cost of inaction continues to mount. The stories of families torn apart and lives upended serve as a stark reminder of the urgent need for comprehensive immigration reform. The path forward requires a balanced approach that addresses both border security and the need for a humane and compassionate immigration system.